So, today we wanted to talk about parents, and I think we're about to get hit by a U-Haul truck. Um, parents,
Oh,
parents who uphold their kids in a bunch of nonsense and act like their kids aren't badasses because they are. I love my family, and I love my cousins, but um, they were some hellions when they were little, and they know it. So I was interesting. I was having a conversation with my mom the other day. I don't know what we were talking about, and it came up this issue that my aunt Pearl, who was her mother, not mother, who is her sister, um, always had issues with my mom. Like they weren't really close, and they're still really not close now, which is really a shame because it's only the two of them. But her kids used to get beatings every day. And my Aunt Pearl was like the type of woman who would be like, go get the belt so I can beat you. Go get the switch off the tree and take off the leaves and, I'm going to beat you. So these kids would get beatings every day when they were little. And there's 4 years difference between me and my cousin Erin. I'm older by 4 years. And then I think Roxanne is in her late 40s. Amanda's like in her mid 40s or early 40s or whatever. But the thing about it is, I have never in my life seen kids so bad that they get beatings every day. Now, there may be, people out there that say, oh, don't beat your kids, don't beat your kids. Well, you know what? That's up to you, and that's how you were raised. In the household I was raised, you got to beat. Now, I, on the other hand, didn't get beatings because I was a good kid. But
as a butt kisser.
It's not, because it's true. I don't ever remember my mom really giving me a beating, but to get off of the beating kick, I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, what are we talking about? Abusing kids?
Well, not abusing, but hey, if you're bad, you bad. You just gotta take care of your kids the way you have to take care of them. But there was an issue that came up. And you guys let me know what you think about this, because I laugh about this now, but at the time it wasn't funny. So I was about 17, getting ready to graduate from high school. So I was 17 in high school. I was a teenager. I was getting ready to go off to college. My cousin, again, Aaron was maybe like 13, and he used to do things. Sometimes I thought he just did things just to get in trouble, but I know that's not necessarily the case. He was just bad. Very mischievous, just a bad kid. And all of a sudden, things started showing up. Like somebody was writing curse words on the wall of the house and signing my name to it. So it would be like, F you, and then Ronnie. Signed Ronnie. And again, I was 17. I was getting ready to go off to college, living on my own. So my Aunt Pearl, believe it or not, thought I was actually doing that. Now, let's give you a little bit of background on this. I grew up in that house since I was 2. Went through the terrible twos, being a kid, being a teenager, grew up in that house and never wrote anything on the wall. And if I was going to write curse words on the wall, I certainly wouldn't sign my name to it, folks. So this started happening a lot, and she saw, and you think she would be like, okay, which one of you badass kids is doing this? She didn't. She thought I was actually doing it. She uphold him in everything. No matter what he did, it was not my son. So my uncle had to step in because I don't want to say. I don't want to. Yeah, I'll have to. Oh, okay. I got discombobulated because we almost had an accident and she cursed and, she cut us off. But anyway, so what I was saying is I don't want to make it seem like, it was always bad, times with my Aunt Pearl, because when the background story is my Aunt Pearl moved out to California when Erin, I think, was maybe like 1 or so. And she was out there by herself. She no family out there. She was out there with her, I don't think they were married at the time, but for lack of whatever, they might as well have been married. Common law husband, don't know. But she was out there. She didn't have any family, so I think she just got really, really close to her son, and it was just the two of them through everything. And, she was out there, she would tell us about the earthquakes, and, the guy she was with really wasn't treating her that well. So, eventually she came back home with Aaron and Roxanne, and she was pregnant with Amanda. So when they came back, me and my Aunt Pearl got along great. And she was like the big sister. I mean, we would go shopping, we would play games. It was just a lot of fun. But when it came to one of her kids, she just didn't believe that he did any wrong. Now the girls, she just was like, yeah, you're my daughters, but, Aaron's the king. She really did make a difference between, as far as she treated the girls versus Aaron. But to get back to, so that's the background. So to get back to me writing on the wall and signing my name to it, it got so bad where my uncle had to get involved one day. And he was just like, look, everybody sit down. Pearl, you sit down. Aaron, you sit down. And Ronnie, you sit down. Now, he said, I know Ronnie. She's been in this house all her life. I don't think she would really write something on the wall, curse words on the wall, and sign her name to it. My Aunt Pearl. Aaron said she did it. She did it. Aaron 13. I'm 17. Getting ready to live on my own. Lived in the house all my life. Never wrote anything on the wall, and I'm going to write curse words and sign my name to it. So my uncle said, listen, I'm just going to put it to you straight. If they're writing the words, they using them. She got all upset. Picking on my kids. So my uncle said, all right, let's put it into this. Ronnie, you write the curse word. Fine. Aaron, you write the curse word. And sure enough, it was his handwriting. Now, I don't really think my uncle needed to take it to that extent, but I'm glad that he did, because then she fell out crying. Oh God, my kid. I'm like, come on now. Why would you think I would do something like that? She never, ever thought, probably to this day, don't think that Aaron does anything wrong. But that was one of the things in my childhood that was just funny, and I thought I would just share it, because you let us know. I think there are a lot of parents out there that, number one, treat their kids differently, whether it's good or bad, and they believe sometimes everything that their kids, or one or two of their kids, say or do, or they're not bad, or they don't have problems or whatever. There are really some parents out there that do that, and my Aunt Pearl was one of them. And like I said, to this day, she's not really close with her girls because of how she treats them versus how Aaron is treated. So her son. So it's crazy. What do you think?
Well, I think when you said about her saying that you were signing your name to it, I want to look at it like that. No, you're doing the window. I've given up trying to center it, babe, because you're never on far anyway.
Okay, let me try this. Y'all just bear with me a second. I'm gonna try this video again. It's gonna be very jinky.
There you go.
All right.
All jinxy.
Janky.
Oh, jinxy. So anyway, I would get it that maybe you're not signing your name to it. Maybe they're saying F you, Ronnie.
No.
Yeah, that's the way it sounded, though, babe.
I know, but that's not the way it was.
So you could have turned the table on him and been like, he's saying F you, Ronnie.
No, they were saying that I was writing on the wall and signing my name to it. It wasn't like, no, it wasn't like that. No, they were
because you said like F you, Ronnie.
No, it was whatever the whatever the sentences were.
Right.
They was doing that and trying to get me in trouble.
And then they wrote on the bottom of it, done by Ronnie.
Yeah, something stupid like that. Again, I was 17, going on 18. So, I don't know. You have any crazy things like that in your family?
What? Favoritism with badass kids?
Favoritism, yes.
Badass kids showing their ass? Showing their ass.
John.
My sister, I hate to pick on my sister, but I will.
Well, she's the only one you got.
Yeah. I only have one siblings. I only have one. So I have to pick on my sister. And it's rightly deserved. She basically, all growing up, my parents would know that she was 100% wrong. But even with her being 100% wrong, I've heard over the years, well, we don't want to say too much about to your sister because she'll get mad and stop talking to us. That would be the best thing that ever happened to you. To me, like I said, you got to correct your kids. You can't be afraid that they're going to stop talking to you. You know, it's crazy. I don't see, like I said, I don't see any whatchamacallit in it, because to me, like I said, to me it makes no sense. You know, if you're going to correct your kids, you have to correct them. But you can't be afraid of hurting their feelings or making them so mad that they just stop talking to you. You know, that to me, that's just ridiculous. You know, and I put up with that all my life when I was living at home, because again, my parents did not want to have any kind of conflict with my sister because they were afraid she was going to like disown them.
But they didn't care if they made you angry and you stopped talking to them.
Yeah, no, they figured I would come back.
I mean, really, you know, as parents, you are supposed to parent your children. You are supposed to, you know, guide and give them, you know,
structure.
Yes. You can't be like, you know, it's okay to be friends, because my mom and I, and this goes back to my cousins again. I guess they saw the relationship that I had with my mom, because when I got like a teenager, my mom was like my best friend. We were like sisters. People always thought we were sisters. And, you know, sometimes we would like laugh and joke with each other. We were kidding. But my cousins saw that, you know, so if I told my mom, shut up, Mom, get out my face or whatever, you know, that was just joking. I would never say that and be serious about it. They would say, if they said, shut up, Mom, get out my face, they meant that shit. They really did. They meant it. They wasn't like, you know, I'm just joking, Mom. No, they meant it. And she just didn't see that. You know, she thought, oh, my kid's just having fun or doing whatever. It wasn't the same thing. They tried to emulate a lot of the stuff I did, but they were serious in what they did. And, you know, not to say that they didn't want that type of relationship with their mother, but I just don't think they did. My aunt was very, very strict. She raised her kids like my grandmother raised them. And, you know, my mom raised me like my great-grandmother raised her kids, because my great-grandmother was really, you know, easygoing and just the coolest person ever you want to meet, you know. And I think my grandmother had that strictness because she was raised by her grandmother. So, you know, it's a lot that goes into that, but I just wanted to touch on that and talk about that, because I was cracking up. You know, it's funny, you sit around, you have conversations, and you think about back in your childhood about things that happened as like funny things. Lord knows we got a ton of stories about growing up in my life and John, and we've spoken about some of them, but that was just a really funny situation that we wanted to share, and I wanted you guys let us know in the comments. Did you have crazy aunts or uncles?
I did have. Stuff go ahead, keep going, baby. Saying it, you're saying out of pieces.
No, I'll get back to it. Go on.
I would actually like to bring up one occasion as an example to the injustice, and that would basically be, you remember our wedding when? Yes. With the dogs.
Oh, yeah.
We had 2 dogs, and we wanted to bring them down just to be down there overnight.
Did we have 2, or did we just have Roscoe?
No, we had 2 at the time, because I think we had Roscoe and Barney. We had 2.
Barney? Okay.
I forget who the other one was, but there was definitely 2. And we were going to, we wound up coming down the day of our wedding, because we wanted to come down and stay overnight. That way we would be down there. And what wound up happening is, I think, let me get over here. So I said something to my mom about us coming down and bringing our 2 dogs down. So she said, well, you have to talk to your dad. So the next thing I know, me and my dad are talking, and he says, oh, no, I don't want you to bring your dog down. I said, well, why? And he says, well, your dogs will mess up the house. I said, how are the dogs going to mess up the house? He says, well, they just will, because they're not trained. I said, but you let Donna's dogs come down. He says, oh, Donna's dogs are trained. Donna's dogs went to the bathroom on the rug when they were down there. Donna's dogs ran through his sliding door screen, you know, and like broke his screen.
Like the Kool-Aid Man.
And broke his screen. No, he ran through the wall. He ran.
Whatever.
They broke the screen, which my dad had to get repaired, which I still don't think my sister paid for, by the way. So, again, you know, and this was our wedding day. It was overnight. I had told my dad, I said, look, if you're worried about it, we'll bring down the crates and put them in crates overnight. No, you can't do it. My sister would bring her dogs down. She had 2 of them. And they were constantly running all over the yard, pooping and stuff. My dad's out there cleaning it up. But unfortunately, our dogs weren't mannered enough. By the way, our dogs are housebroken too.
Yeah, our dogs were housebroken. Basically, it was, you know, a hush puppy dog.
A hush puppy?
Yeah.
That's a
Roscoe.
Basset Hound.
Roscoe was a Basset Hound, and Barney was a big lump of, I don't know, what was Barney mixed with? He was mixed with...
A big lump of Basset Hound.
It wasn't Basset Hound. What's the other dog?
The other dog. Beagle?
Beagle. But he was a Beagle mix. So, you're talking about 2 overweight dogs that just didn't do anything but lay around. Now, to get back to John's point about his sister would bring down her lab. That was a lab. A black lab, and she had some other dog. She would bring those dogs down and go away for a week or longer on a business trip and leave those dogs with her parents to take care of them. Elderly parents to take care of those dogs. And we're talking one night, our wedding the next day, and we just wanted to bring our dogs down. And you and your dad got into a fight over that, because they really fought. They fought the night before our wedding. And all over a dog, and I just couldn't understand why he was so adamant, like they just didn't want to do it, you know. And I was like, wow, this is really crazy, you know, to the point where I kind of didn't even want to go to the house, you know, because we had made arrangements, kind of getting off the subject, but we had made arrangements at the county seat in Cape May or whatever for my mom and I to get dressed there. So we didn't need to go to the house. So John and Sean was getting dressed at his parents' house, but we were at the city hall or whatever. There were some rooms in there, and the mayor let us use that. And that's what we did, because we got married in Cape May on the beach. So yeah, I just didn't understand why that was such a big deal. But again, you make difference in your kids. You know, the favoritism was definitely toward Donna, because Donna get to bring her dogs down anytime she want to, and they wait on the dogs, feed the dogs, walk the dogs, do whatever. But we're talking one night, and you didn't want a sloppy Basset Hound and you know, another lump of dump dog, you know, because that's what Barney was. I love him to death, you know, rest his soul. But yeah, a lump of dump dog, that's what I called them, the lump of dumps, because they didn't do anything. So all they would have done is just lay over in the corner all night long, you know. No, big argument the night before our wedding. I totally forgot about that. But yeah, that was a big thing. So yeah, that goes to speak on favoritism and how, you know, some kids in the family just get away with stuff. You let us know in the comments if you was a kid that got away with everything.
Oh, another one she got away with. Remember when my mom says, "Oh, don't just go out," because we had stopped down there and my sister was down there, and my mom's like, "Don't go out and buy no food because your sister's going to be making us a meal."
Yeah, I love this story.
That heifer turned around and give Ronnie 6 pieces of rice, and then when I try to cook more, she's like, "That's my rice for the whole week, Miss Six Figures."
Okay, so I'm going to tell that story because John's paraphrasing. She was down and she said, "Oh, I'm going to make dinner." Now, it was me, John, Sean, and his parents, and of course his sister. She's going to make dinner for, it was 3 of us, 3 of them, 6 people.
6 people.
So when you say you're going to make dinner, I'm assuming you're going to make dinner. She doesn't really know how to cook. So she comes down with some pack of chicken and a small bag of rice. And I don't know.
2-pound bag of rice.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was that.
Yeah,
It was the smallest bag of rice you could.
That might have been a 1-pounder.
It was a 1-pounder. The smallest bag of rice you could ever buy. And she's going, and probably a little small thing of chicken, and she's cooking. So she always wants to bring Sean in on it. Sean, come and help me. You know, oh, I'm so good with my nephew, kind of thing. So they're in there and they're cooking. And so she puts everything on the table. And of course, at that time, I was still a vegan, so I wasn't eating chicken.
You weren't eating chicken.
So the only thing I really could eat was rice. So his mom, I could tell she in her way, felt bad because they sat down, they started eating. And so John was like, well, what's Ronnie going to eat? You know, do you got anything in there for her or whatever? So his mom was like, well, I might have some vegetables or I might this. And they sitting down eating. And she just like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to eat.
Carrot out of the yard.
You know, so I thought, wow. So when she gave, so John said, oh, well, I'll just get some rice for Ronnie. Like John said, don't you know this heifer talking about, that's my rice for the rest of the week. She didn't want to share her rice with me. I thought, wow. Okay, so we went to the market to get me something to eat. And I told John, I said, if you don't, I said, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go the hell off on your sister. I said, if you don't go over there and buy her another bag of rice, like it's a hardship, you know, because she's talking about that's her rice for the rest of the week. Well, you know what? When you say you fixing dinner for people, you bring dinner for 6 people. You don't bring dinner for just who you want to feed and then talk about that's my food for the rest of the week. I told him, I said, I'm buying this rice. And so when you go back, you give that bag of rice to your sister. I don't care if she like it or not. You're being ignorant. You know, you're there trying to feed everybody else and then you talking about, oh, that's my rice for the rest of the week. Just because I had a spoonful of rice. Oh my God, yeah, that was one of those situations too. But nobody didn't say anything to her like, well, Donna, you know, you said you cooking. You cook for 6 people. You don't cook for 2. Yeah, you don't bring a bag of rice for 2 people.
That was my mom's place to say something.
It was your mom's place, and she did not. She tried to uphold it, and well, I don't know what Ronnie gonna eat or whatever. You got vegetables, don't you? Yeah. You got something. Rice, you got rice and vegetables, noodles, pasta. Anything. You know, she always makes it say, oh, I don't know what to feed you. I used to hate that about being a vegan, where people are like, oh, I don't know what to feed you. You got vegetables, rice, a starch or something, and fruit. You know, don't make it seem like I'm the one that's hard to feed because I'm a vegan.
Kind of, a little bit.
No.
Now, my sister was 100% wrong, but
she was wrong.
Speaking from somebody who's trying to feed a vegetarian, vegan, they are very hard to feed. When you're used to eating something that moves, then they're like, oh, well, give them a carrot. How do you shop?
No, again, I say no to that because you make it seem like it's so hard. It's not. The only thing that's off that plate is a thing with a face.
So let me ask you something. So making meals, because I was the one basically making most of the meals. Making the meals, you give me a 2 or 3 day menu of things that you're going to have to make a whole meal. Like I could just say I make spaghetti. But how you, all these different vegetables and stuff, you know, God bless you if you're a vegan or I was going to say a veteran. What is it? A vegan or vegetarian. But to me, if you're a meat eater, to me it's very hard to make up a menu that's going to carry 4 or 5 days, because the only thing you can do is now you're boiling stuff. You got vegetables, potatoes. You got to throw in a bunch of pasta.
It's not
rice.
You're not see
you got
with
a whole bunch of dishes.
the
eat a sandwich.
No, the problem that people have, or the mistake that people make, is, oh, it's so hard. If you're cooking a well-balanced meal, you have beef, you have potatoes, you have a vegetable, you have your meat, you have your starch, and you have a vegetable. That's basically a well-balanced meal. So if you do that, the only thing that's off that plate is the meat. So therefore, it's not hard because you're already cooking the rest of the food. So why is it like, oh, I don't know how to feed a vegetarian or a vegan? You leave the meat off, but you still put in the rest of the food. Why is that so difficult?
It is.
Not.
Eat a sandwich.
Whatever. I ain't even going through this with John because we done been through this before. And I just think people just want to make it be difficult, and it's not difficult. It's not that hard. The only thing you taking off that plate is the meat. Don't hand
trying
me
to give Ronnie a chicken carrot.
Don't hand me
a hamburger watermelon.
Whatever. So I'm gonna end this because John already getting on my nerves. So
a shish kebab stew.
Whatever. So yeah, so that's kind of what we wanted to do. We just wanted to come on, and again, I'm going to try to get this out because every time I try to say this, you cut me off. If you guys were in a family where you were the favorite, or one of your siblings was the favorite, let us know in the comments how you dealt with that, and you know, how your family got along with stuff like that. And did you fight and argue? Because I know my family fought and argued over a lot of stuff. John's family fought and argued over a lot of stuff. So let us know. Like I said, just wanted to share that little tidbit and other stuff that we rambled on about because, you know, we always go off subject. But anyway, this is our out and about today. We're headed to, of course, to get some kind of fish for John. But
Some fish.
yeah. So, and I'm gonna make some cabbage soup. So we're gonna head by, stop off at the produce
You got a whole
place.
bunch of cabbage soup in there. You
I'm
ain't
making
cook.
enough so Mom can have some.
Is that's enough for both of you for the whole week?
It isn't.
You're going to be sprouting leaves.
Anyway, so what do we say?
Share, like, and subscribe. And God bless you.
Peace and love, y'all. See you next time.